Jesus has been on the cross for over 3 hours. And he calls out in the darkness, feeling as if God is distant from him. He calls out, "I thirst." And they offer to him some wine mixed with vinegar. He once again is fulfilling prophecy even in his final moments. There he is. He's suffering. He's been beaten. He's been bloodied. He's been broken. And he's having to force himself up to breathe. And his body is probably entering a state of shock. He is enduring the pain of the execution. But not just that, but the separation of his Father. My God, why have you forsaken me? He just left his lips. And so he's absorbing the absence of his Father, the pain excruciating down his arms and down his legs and back. And he forces himself up for every breath. He's offered something to drink. And shortly thereafter, Jesus calls out, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." See, a lot of times we think about that Jesus' life was taken from him. His life was not taken. He said before that he lays down his life willingly for his sheep, for his people. So his life was not taken. He was not killed. He laid down his life of his own accord. And then, into the darkness, he calls, "It is finished." The Greek word tetelestai, paid in full. The price for our sin, the punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. His work was done, and our debt paid for. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they die. There at the cross that day, there were many spectators. Some were there mocking. Some were Jesus' friends and family who were there in support and agonizing with him. But there was another man there. He was there on business. He was a centurion. He was there to watch over the crucifixion of not only Jesus, but the two other prisoners that day. And when he saw the way that Jesus died, it is recorded that he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." This man who probably had never heard of Jesus, maybe never heard him speak, didn't know anything about him. But he knew in that moment, by the way he died, that there's something special about this man. And that he was exactly who he said he was. They began to ask about the bodies. They didn't want the bodies up on the crosses because the next day was the Sabbath day. Not just any Sabbath, it was the Passover Sabbath. It was a special Sabbath. And they didn't want bodies up on the cross. And so Pilate gave orders to break the legs of the men who were crucified. The prisoner on the left and the prisoner on the right. The legs were broken. And they soon passed. When they came to Jesus, they realized that he had already died. And so to confirm that, they pierced his side and blood and water flowed. Isn't it interesting that even in his death, Jesus was still fulfilling prophecy? The bones of the Passover lamb would not be broken. Jesus died, and Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, two Pharisees who believed in Jesus, they asked for Jesus' body. They took him down from the cross. They began to prepare his body, wrapping them in strips of linen, putting on the appropriate ointments for his body. And they placed him in Joseph's tomb. And they thought that was going to be the end. That this man who came and taught them and showed them God, that was spoke with the voice of a prophet, who had the hands of a healer, and the wisdom of a prophet, a man of God. They thought that his life ended on a cross. They put him in the tomb, and they were expecting to come back in a couple of days to finish the burial process. And that's where we're left. In the darkness of a Palestinian Friday, with no hope, we're left helpless. Because the one who we thought was going to be the redemption of Israel has died. He gave his life. Laid it down for us. No surprise the disciples will have in a few days. As the one who they looked upon would rise again.